Hey, this is Nancy Wilson, and you're listening to Everything Fab Four on Salon.com.
Welcome to Everything Fab Four, a new podcast focused on fun and intelligent stories about the Beatles. I'm your host, Ken Womack, music culture columnist for Salon.com and a Beatles scholar and historian. No other band, or popular phenomenon for that matter, has enjoyed the global impact of the Beatles. They are part of our human fabric. They created an enduring music that brings people together, and just about everyone has their own Beatles story to tell. Some that are surprisingly deep and unexpected. With each episode, we'll be featuring a new guest to share their Fab Four journey, along with amazing theme music from Black Rabbit. Remember, it's a Beatles world, and everybody has a story. So tell me, John, there you are, stuck on the proverbial desert island, and you've got one Beatles album. What is it?
Let It Be.
Wow, no hesitation, right to the breakup album.
Everyone was really into the drama, but I was just a kid looking through my mom's records, so I loved all the pictures and their beards and stuff. And I love that I know it's really sad though, that rooftop concert, but I thought it was cool. I and that just Let It Be is a beautiful song too.
Today's guest is John Roberts, an American actor, voice actor, comedian, writer, and singer who voices Linda Belcher on the animated sitcom Bob's Burgers. Roberts first gained attention as one of the standout performers and writers on the YouTube episode Jackie and Deborah, which won the Comedy Smalls Award in London. He has accrued over 20 million hits on YouTube and has made videos with the likes of Deborah Harry and David Cross. He performs several times a year at New York City's Joe's Pub and recently signed a publishing deal with French Kiss Records. Roberts is perhaps best known for voicing the character of Linda, the doting matriarch of the Belcher family in the Fox comedy Bob's Burgers, created by Lauren Bouchard. Roberts had noted in interviews that he based the voice of Linda on that of his own mother, Marge. Roberts has appeared in several episodes of Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and Watch What Happens Live, has co-written a pilot for MTV with Bob Odenkirk, and performed in 2 national tours with Margaret Cho. In 2019, Roberts released the song Looking, complete with a promo video. Critic Randall Raddick has observed that the music video combines Roberts' love for 80s dance pop with fluorescent lights, Boku neon, mannequins, a vintage phone, and a studded leather jacket. Roberts' latest single finds him teaming up with Blondie frontwoman Deborah Harry. Entitled Lights Out, the song was produced by Junior Sanchez. The single is accompanied by a trippy animated video directed by Chris Baldwin. In addition to serving as a guest voice on The Simpsons, Roberts will reprise the Linda Belcher character in Bob's Burgers, the movie. Welcome, John Roberts. So, John, when it comes to the Beatles, am I correct in noting that you are no spring chicken?
But I went to Beatle Fest in '87, so no. I know a few things, but no, I'm no baby boomer. But that I don't know. I was young. I was in high school. It was great. It was cool. Is this the podcast? Are we doing it right now?
We sure are, John. This is the real thing right now.
Oh my God!
So you just opened the door. Tell us more about Beatles Fest. What was it like going to that world?
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. I went with a bunch of my theater nerd friends.
And I'm assuming they were all Beatles fans or not.
There are people that don't like the Beatles. I don't really understand, but to each their own.
It's kind of like not liking children or Christmas. Do you have any early Beatles memories?
Well, really, I was introduced to John Lennon first because my mother woke me up the morning he was assassinated and was like, John Lennon's dead. And I was like really young. I was, and I was like, who's John Lennon? And then I got the Double Fantasy album and at the US One Flea Market. Shout out to US One Flea Market. I really loved John Lennon, and then the Beatles kind of came later in high school theater. We were really into a lot of the Beatles albums, and just I never get tired of the Beatles, really.
What do you think it was that was attractive to you and the other theater nerds when you were playing the albums?
I mean, they're great songs, great melodies, and things like that, and it was vintage too. We liked something old, and they kind of were classic. They're a class act, the Beatles.
Music has always been in your life, though, even before that terrible day in December 1980.
Yeah. I think the first time I was ever, the first song I ever knew was Rick James. And then I sang Ebony and Ivory with my best friend in the talent show. We were in elementary school. That was memorable.
Surely you won the whole thing, right?
Oh, yeah, I think we did win. Yeah, we did win. I was really shy. I didn't sing loud enough. I remember that. I was very shy. But I love the roller rink. Mostly is where I got a lot of music from, because the sound system was so good. And there's something about roller skating and listening to music. You're moving. It's like being in a car. Movement and music. It just makes you feel a little more superhuman in that way. And roller skating is such a beautiful, when everyone's, it's just nice to see everyone very innocent on skates and kind of just carefree. It was a nice way to grow up going to the roller rink a lot. And you also got a lot of, like Sugar Hill Gang and black music was a big part of the roller rink too. The Gap Band and things like that really had an influence for sure.
Does that world really exist anymore? The place where you'd go and hear the latest hits or what have you, and skating rinks?
I don't know. I mean, what are the kids doing? I think there's roller skating rinks out there. People share playlists, I think. But I think roller skating will make a comeback, maybe. I mean, there's certainly roller skating rinks, and there's still a big part of the community is still very active. So I'm a roller skater, though. I'm not a roller blader.
You don't hang with that crowd.
No, it's a good workout, I bet. It seems more like a workout to me, but people like to blade. Roller skates are so cool with Jordache jeans and, a bandana.
One of the things that fascinates me about your life is, haven't you in a way had to invent your job? It didn't really exist until you made it exist.
Yeah, I definitely am not a conventional person at all. And I spent a lot of time just kind of after I went to theater school, the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. And it was a great experience. But afterwards, I kind of really wanted to make music and really didn't really feel like I was going to have a headshot and go on auditions and stuff like that. At the time, maybe you could audition for a soap opera. It wasn't really like now. You didn't have YouTube and things like that to, put your stuff out there. And yeah, it wasn't until really I would perform around the East Village and get all these characters together and then got it on YouTube that I really found my audience and started to, find some ground to stand on. But that's, I really appreciate it though, because it is something that's very unique to me and my story. And I think it's cool that things happen in a way that you never imagine.
I strongly urge folks to check out those videos on YouTube, because you can see when you watch them, you can almost watch in real time, observe in real time as you invent these characters and create stories for them.
Yeah, they were stuff. They were characters that I did in the East Village and just little bars and stuff like that, and would literally be in a bathroom stall taping my nose up and putting a wig on my head, and maybe sometimes performing for 5 people or a room full of people. But I started to get better because, that's the first step, is just making it happen and doing it. And for a lot of time, I think I sort of got in my head and was, this performing became like a bigger thing than it really should be if you just kind of get up and do it, which is how you get better anyway,
When you were doing these characters for audiences, what would be the signs that would tell you, hey, I'm onto something, or that would help you shape where you were going with these ideas as they developed?
But just laughter, and also people, repeating things to me. Like the Christmas tree was one that I did, and a lot of people would say it after the show, or I'd see them, a month later or something, and they remembered that, and so I knew it was a good piece, and I remember writing it. It was. It was very kind of just came out of me. So it was one of those things where you just kind of keep writing, and something good is going to come. Because so not all of it was good.
Oh no!
I mean, I committed to everything, so that was good. But not out of all it was made sense.
Now your work with with folks like Bob Odenkirk and Margaret Cho, that predates Bob's Burgers, right?
Yeah, well, around 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I met Margaret and did some tours with her. And that was just like a pure joy of being on a tour bus and going from city to city, seeing the country that way. And she's just so original and hysterical. So just listening to her every night, you'd laugh, and we get along great. So it was really fun, and we went to Australia, played the Sydney Opera House with just great people. I don't know. I felt very fortunate to have crossed paths with her, and I actually just reached out to her on Facebook, and it was like, I'm a fan, and she got back to me, and so there's something to be said for just reaching out to people. But
especially now, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure right now. And then Bob, David Cross is a friend as well, and he would bring Bob. He brought Bob to a show at Comics, which was a club downtown on 14th Street, and then Bob and me and Bob wrote a pilot for MTV. With all my characters, and it's directed by Michael Showalter. And we were all really proud of it. It was really great, and then it didn't get picked up. But that's one of the lessons in TV, is that your pilot's probably not going to get picked up, but maybe it will. I mean, it's hard. I've had a couple of flops now. But I don't look at them as flops, actually, because I really stand by all of the work that I did, and they still all hold up. And it's timing, and it's someone's making, you don't know who's making that final decision. And I know with MTV there was some drama or whatever, but Bob's Burgers, there's always a drama. I mean, it's TV, it's a very everyone's trying to get on a TV show. So, you got a lot of competition there, and it's good competition.
What was the pilot about?
It was all my characters, and I played myself. I was in Brooklyn, and then my mom was in New Jersey, and Deborah, the teenager. I'd love to just leak it on YouTube or something, or because it's good. And I mean, it was really well received. It was really popular at MTV. They were really surprised. I think there was a big changeover right when that happened. It was one of those timing. When timing swoops in and it's not the right time. But, everything happens for a reason. So Bob's came in right after that and saved the day for me. And it's great. Yeah.
Is a pilot, is it something that you can, since you put this effort into it and built it, is there a way to repurpose it?
Well, there's this pilot that I wrote, the last one I wrote with John Benjamin, and Amy Poehler was involved, and it's her production company, and HBO. We developed it with HBO. They passed. We took it back, and it's possible. I think Lauren is going to animate it. It's called Edison. and it's about Edison, New Jersey, and it's really funny. It's musical, and me and John love the script. Everyone liked the script as well. But maybe it was, there's always a reason why something doesn't happen. But once again, I think, we may see this one actually. So that would be cool if Lauren does some type of animating, and some animation and makes it come to life.
We'll be right back with more from John Roberts, including the story of Lauren Bouchard and Bob's Burgers, more Beatles, and Deborah Harry. We're back with John Roberts, and it's time to cut to the chase. So tell me, John, there you are, stuck on the proverbial desert island, and you've got one Beatles album. What is it?
Let It Be.
Wow, no hesitation, right to the breakup album.
Everyone was really into the drama, but I was just a kid looking through my mom's records, so I loved all the pictures and their beards and stuff. And I love that. I know it's really sad though, that kind of that rooftop concert, but I thought it was cool. And that Just Let It Be is a beautiful song too.
So can you tell us a little bit about your mom? Because she obviously is a huge influence at some level.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's Italian, from Brooklyn, just full of goodness and just very, my parents divorced when I was probably a year old. So my mom, raised me and my sister for the most part, worked very hard, and she's just, I think I've been impersonating her since I was a kid, though, because she is such a character, and she's so she's such a part of Linda for sure. It's and she's enjoying all this too, so it's nice. Everything's come full circle, and she's always been supportive. She's very cool. With me being in the theater and when I was young and all the crazy stuff, and I'm a little nutty, so she's very accepting of all that.
So how does the Bob's Burgers gig come about?
Well, Lauren, I think, found my videos through John Benjamin, and Holly's a writer on the show, and basically we did a demo. It was about cannibal family. And, that was the original premise for Bob's. They were grinding up kind of Sweeney Todd type of, killings and grinding up people and cooking them, I guess. And then Fox was like, you don't want to make a show about, killing people every week. And he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Well, it evolved from this demo that I think took a year and a half of just hearing really good things about, and it just sort of gained steam, and then we aired, and we had a huge ratings. We had a big premiere, and it slowly found all our awesome fans that kind of kept us going, and it just, great things have happened ever since. I mean, it's also just so proud of everyone on the show and how we've all kind of grown together, and it's a joy to be a part of such a, uplifting show right now, especially.
So, and you made the cannibalism episode anyway, right?
Yeah, I think that there is a little thing on YouTube, actually. You could find that, but it's and it looks like kind of Lauren's old style of the animation that he had on Adult Swim, a little bit like these big kind of noses, and it's totally different.
Okay, so you don't look like you do now necessarily on the Bob's Burgers we're all familiar with.
No, totally different. So
how did you spring Linda on them? How did it become possible that you became the Linda character?
Well, I think Lauren just had me in mind he liked my videos and my voice and stuff, and he kind of developed that character for me, which is something that, once again, came uniquely out of, whatever I was doing, and probably won't happen again. I don't know. I mean, it seems like, I mean, I would love it if it did. It's great when people write for you. I really don't enjoy auditioning and things like that, where I'm lucky right now. I'm employed and stuff, but I really dread auditioning and things like that. I love being a part of the creative process and growing from the ground up, and doing it that way seems more where I'm going to actually be able to relax and be of some service.
You do a lot of ad-libbing, is that correct?
Yeah, we do. And right now with COVID, it's harder because we're not all together, and we, record separately with the writers, but we'll improvise with the writers, which is fun. But there's been a lot of songs and things that we've done that end up in each episode, and that's the beauty of recording before you animate. And Lauren is very good at kind of, getting that perfect rhythm going, and it's like music almost, getting all the voices timed correctly and all the jokes in there. So he's really good at picking the stuff out, and he also lets us kind of babble on for a while. He's really patient.
I guess you'd have to be, right, in that role.
Yeah, you do, but he's really good at it, and he's also just very even-tempered and cool, very cool guy.
It's such a varied cast. You have Kristen Schaal, who we know from things like 30 Rock, etc., and of course John Benjamin. Did you guys gel right away, or was a lot of work involved in getting that chemistry?
Well, fortunately, we all kind of knew each other previously to that, and had been doing live comedy shows in Brooklyn together backstage, going to parties together, things like that. So already it was really felt natural, except for Dan Mintz, who was in LA. But Tina's so awkward that it really worked anyway. And now, of course, we're all much, it's been 10 years, so but there's a lot of love for each other, and each other's art, and just everyone's so good and talented. It's a joy to watch everyone too, even when we tour together live.
It's when I watch it, I think that any one of those characters could steal the show. They're so vivid.
Yeah, Lauren's great at making sure that all the characters revolve around and not, that the show is, it's an ensemble, and that we all kind of share the spotlight.
Well, and Linda in particular, I've been thinking about this for a long time, is a really round character. She's not a gag. She has deep feelings and interests that we can pick up on. But at the same time, she can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we have a ton of female writers, moms, and things like that on the show. So it's all a part of Linda. Besides me bringing my mom into it as well, she has so much heart and depth, and I love that people, mostly other women, relate to her, and that makes me feel really proud. And I think that, yeah, if people can kind of, sustain their belief that, she's a woman, it's very cool.
I think it's 100% effective. It's a tough trick, but you pull it off really well. You said you think Linda would like the Beatles. Why is that?
Well, Linda loves to sing. I mean, she loves Broadway. Yeah, I mean, she would probably, who would she love? She'd probably love John the most. Yeah, she's just very musical.
Oh, that's for sure. What does your mom think about Linda when she experiences this world?
Well, she's got a Linda mask right now that I gave her. She loves all the Linda swag. She's bring me more. What else? She's got, she wants it all, which is good because I don't want it. But she's so super proud. I was very old when this happened. So there were a lot of years where, we didn't know if John was going to make it. But I was always her star. And now, she gets good Christmas presents and, keep mama happy. It's a joy for me to, make her happy and, show her that all the sacrificing and all the things that I did, added up to something,
I wonder if we could talk about you and music for a moment. So obviously on Bob's Burgers, there is a ton of music. In fact, another full disclosure, my wife and I, we decided a few years ago, our song is Kill the Turkey.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but that one was improvised. That was just weirdly came out of me, and Lauren kind of turned it into that glorious song.
Do you just riff with those sorts of things and you just start concocting lyrics on the spot? What happens in that kind of situation?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't stop me, I won't shut up. So, I could keep going and going. So, but I think that it's fun when you have these amazing scripts and you already know it's already funny, and then you are relaxed enough to just have, fun, improvise, and it's also funny. It's a joy to sing about this, and be Linda. She's just so happy all the time,
Thank you for loving me.
Len,
Thank you for being there.
please.
Thank you for loving me.
Oh, God.
Everyone's thanking. The whole
Len.
world's thanking you.
Stop.
Thanking
Len,
us for thanking you.
Len,
Kill the turkey.
Len!
Were those outros always going to be a part of the show? They've become such an essential extra bit that we look forward to.
Yeah, that's all LB, Lauren, he's very into the music, making that album happen, and all that stuff was all his plan, and he kind of fought to make sure that happened, which I love. And it's the albums are so fun, and with the movie coming out, it's also hopefully in theaters where people can come and dress up and give us Rocky Horror vibes.
I'll be wearing my bunny ears. I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, I'll host as Linda.
So tell me about this new album. What can we expect?
It's got Tommy Sunshine and a bunch of really great remix artists, and that's for freaks. And then the next single is with Debbie Harry, featuring from Blondie. And that song is called Lights Out. And there's an animated video that's really gorgeous too. That's also going to accompany that. And I believe Felix the House Cat is going to remix that song. And then a full album is coming out of about 13 songs produced by Junior Sanchez, and there's 2 songs from Baby Daddy from Scissor Sisters, and it's going to feature Debbie Harry, and Beth Ditto is also doing a song with me, and they're all kind of vintage, kind of 80s, but kind of updated sound. I don't know. That's not a good description. It's very there's a lot of beats, and Junior's a house producer, so there's really good bass lines and beats, and it's great. I mean, I'm really proud of it.
How did your collaboration with Deborah Harry come about?
I was in this kind of goofy band called OptiGrab, and we toured with Blondie for a couple of dates. We have mutual friends, so we just kind of hit it off. And she's been doing my YouTube videos, and then they put me on the Blondie album, their last Blondie album. I sang a song with Debbie on that album, which was mind blowing.
It's mind blowing indeed. Let's check it out.
I don't wanna know when the lights go out.
outstanding new material from John Roberts and Deborah Harry. Hey John, it's been great having you. In the words of Linda Belcher, thank you for being here. Everything Fab Four is presented by Salon.com, the premier news, politics, innovation, and arts website. For more information, visit everythingfab4.com, where you can learn more about our podcast and my latest Beatles-related book, Living the Beatles Legend, The Untold Story of Mal Evans. The Everything Fab Four theme song, Seize the Day, is provided courtesy of Black Rabbit, the high-octane Beatles cover band, an innovative psychedelic rock project from Rockaway Beach, Queens in New York City. Like what you heard today on Everything Fab Four? Be sure to subscribe, give us a rating, and recommend the show to your friends. Plus, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at EF4 Podcast. Distributed by Salon.com, Everything Fab Four is a Wonderwall production. Remember, it's a Beatles world, and everyone has a story.